Left my troubles way on down the tracks. All those bad times gone, I ain't never looking back. No more worries, taking no more slack. Only good times ahead, y'all. I finally got the knack, yeah. Give me love, that's what I want. Give me love, ow. Something I can fall. Give me love, alright. That's what I need. Give me love, love, love. It's written on my sleeve, yeah. So that's Gimme Love by Blakgraz. Howdy, music lovers. Tom from Blakgraz here. Had a really wonderful visit with my dad yesterday. And it was kind of cool because part of the conversation got into how many songs I've written. I've got 112 songs published, and I've got several others that are written, playing out live, and several that are not even recorded for backing tracks to play out live yet. But it was kind of cool because not only did I get to explain to him and Betty after meeting her for the first time, which was really nice to do. It was she was a real joy to meet. I got to talk about how in my songs, as a general theme, I'm trying to have a positive impact. One of the main reasons for that is because, you know, for years and years I had done cover music and made my career playing cover music, and maybe slipping a few originals in here and there. And I always kind of knew this, but I never paid much close attention to the power of the words in those songs. And of course, if you have any spiritual background at all, you know that singing is praying twice. So if you sing words, well, then they're twice as powerful, right? That's the logic. And there's actually a scientific explanation for that too. Basically, because in quantum physics, they've determined that human intention can change, human focus can change the frequency of matter. They can measure the change. So if you sing something, a focused intention, you're focusing longer, and so that it has a more powerful direct impact on whatever it is that you're singing about or at. That just logically makes sense. It's sort of like connecting dots, actually. It doesn't have to be spiritual at all. You could probably measure it even. So the thought here is, well, I know from all these cover songs that I've memorized and played over the years that there's a lot of really negative stuff in those songs. One in particular is a great example. It kind of caught my dad and Betty off guard. Is You Are My Sunshine. Everything's, oh, that's such a beautiful song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Isn't that wonderful? Well, if you actually listen to the words, that is a stalker tune, and it is not a happy song. The song is about somebody who didn't get what they expected back from someone they're in love with, and they get pretty angry about it. Sort of like Every Breath You Take by the Police. Stalker, creepy song, right? Well, when I put it to them that way, and when they looked at the words and they thought about the words, they couldn't deny it. In fact, we used to have a friend in California who made a joke about doing You Are My Sunshine in E minor and singing it with a very Russian accent, very, kind of dark baritone, You Are My Sunshine. And he did it as what he said was a general public service announcement, as a warning that this is not a happy song, actually. You should not be teaching this song to your children, right? Because you're teaching them to idolize or to imitate or to give energy to the idea of being this really messed up mindset, right? So anyway, back to that concerning cover music and me playing all these tunes, right? You see people cheering for songs that are horrible, horrible things to say out loud. Very, very negative, self-deprecating, words, that are basically, if you were to say these words to someone, you'd be asking for a fight, all this stuff. Negative, just really negative. Now, And that's not even including all of the stories that you hear coming out of Hollywood and out of the record industry about spells being cast on masters, tapes and things like that. Who knows if that's true or not? It doesn't take a genius to figure out, just by listening to the words and the feeling that it gives you, that there is something wrong in a lot of the songs that everybody loves and grew up with. So I decided I had to write stuff that I could listen to and enjoy, which is a big part of why Blakgraz kind of spans so many different styles, because I like, every kind of music if it's done well. Everything, if it's done well, I'll like any style of music from anywhere in the universe, for that matter, if it's done well and it has the positive intent behind it. And what do I mean when I say positive intent? Well, just basically, okay, so you had a tough time, but did you learn something, right? Or you feel empowered now, and so you're taking your life, you're taking control, and you feel good about that, right? Or you had a breakup, but you found somebody new who helps bring life and love and laughter back to your life again. And so it was tough, but you found this brand new, better place to be, right? That things were tough, but they got better. That you learned a lesson, that you're more powerful, you're smarter, you're wiser than you were. That's the stuff that Blakgraz is about. That's the kind of thing that I wanted my music to give to people if they heard it. And I think that's part of the reason that why I'm going into a lot of these venues in all these different states and all these different towns, that even though nobody's heard my music before, that I start playing these songs and that good intention is coming through in the music and in the performance. That good thought, that good energy, that not just, sure, I'm playing I'm trying to do the best I can as far as playing and singing well, right? And I know the tracks sound good because I worked hard on making them sound good. The equipment is great equipment. I know it's doing a great job. The guitars, everything is, tuned and doing a great job. So all I got to do then is just not mess up, just have fun and do a good job. And son of a gun, if for over a year and a half in 20 different states and growing, we've walked into places who've never heard Blakgraz before and fall in love with the music. People dancing and singing. I've had people dancing and singing the words and choruses on the first song of the night. It's amazing. Not just tapping their hands or dancing in their seat or wiggling around, but actually standing up and trying to sing me on choruses. It's incredible to watch it happen. And so I thought, this is actually, and since I had a conversation with my dad and Betty, it makes sense to do a video about that, explaining to everybody else out there. We've got a lot of wonderful people who are subscribers and people who are watching these videos and kind of watching how Blakgraz is growing. Thank you for doing that. It helps. I thought it would be a good time to explain that that's really what this music is supposed to be about. Blakgraz is supposed to be about the music, not me, not my guitars, not my beautiful wife, not our cat, not Rufus, not the fact that we're on the road. It should be about the music and what it means to you, the listener. That's what's most important. The only reason I agreed to get in front of the camera, except on stage, I have to get on stage to play the songs, but the only reason I agreed to get on the camera outside of being on stage was just to get the music out there more, so people would listen, so people would at least give it a shot and see if it makes them feel better too. And what I'm finding is that a lot of people are finding that these songs move them in ways that I could never have imagined. A great example is Show Me the Way by Blakgraz. This is an electroacoustic trance style song, so it's mellow. And it starts out slow and it ends slow and quiet, very calm. Not what you would expect at a high energy show. But side note, it's 7.5 minutes long. This is not a 3-minute hit song that would be on the radio everywhere, right? And so I was even hesitant to play it out, but it's a song that I dreamed. And it stayed with me for weeks. And that's why I tell people at every show, it stayed with me for weeks. And so I figured I took that as a sign. I better write it down. So I gave it a shot at a couple shows and played it to see what people thought. And the response was overwhelming. People love that song. Even people I am sure will not like that song love that song. It's incredible to watch it happen, which means to me that the intention, the energy that I'm putting behind it is getting through to them. They're starting to feel what I intend in these songs, that to give them some solace, to give them that reprieve, to show them that there's hope, that there's joy, give them something to attach themselves to artistically that has only their best interest in mind, the highest good for everyone involved, right? The highest good for everyone. So I thought, you know what? Give Me Love is another good example of that. Give Me Love is all about letting go of all that old stuff and just building new and beautiful for yourself and enjoying this journey that we're on all together. So I hope that kind of explains what Blakgraz is about, what my motivation for these songs is about, and why there's so many different styles, why there are so many songs in so many different styles. And see, when I do a style too, I try really hard to make sure that I'm true to that style. If it's a country song, then it needs to sound like a country song. If it's a classic rock Americana song, it's got to sound like classic rock Americana. If it's a folk tune, it's got to sound like folk tune, right? Now, I blend some things, like Seeking Glory is kind of a blend of dance and bluegrass, but the bluegrass elements are going to be as genuine as possible. The gospel lyrics are going to be as genuine as possible. My goal is to make each reggae, Latin, flamenco sound like those styles that people would expect to hear, so that they feel comfortable in that being genuine, right? The whole point is to just be genuine. Now, I'm being myself because those are all styles that I love. This is all stuff that I love about music. In fact, there isn't anything about music that I don't love. But now I'm able to share that with people in ways that I've never been able to experience before. I didn't have this show 5 years ago. I didn't have this incredible amount of material and the show so well orchestrated and arranged and produced so that I could go out and share it with people and that they would have this impactful experience in their lives. I didn't have that before, but now we finally do, and it just feels wonderful to see it start taking off. So that's what this video was to be about, was to share with you how a lot of the reason that I stopped doing covers was because I was tired of being the salesman for negativity. I wanted Blakgraz to be a positive impact in the world, and I hope that it is, and I hope that that helps you in one way or another. I hope that it helps a lot of people, because it certainly is helping me. I am loving this journey, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate every single listener out there, every viewer, everybody who makes comments. It is such a miracle and a joy to just have people listening to my music at all. So thanks for making it this far in this video. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Remember, we've got CDs online, we've got merchandise online. You can get handmade shirts at shows, and we've got beer koozies, and Rufus is actually getting fixed. We're going to be putting out a video here soon about all the repairs that we just did on him. Thanks to the folks in Elkin for helping make that happen. That'll be some more details in that video. But that's it for now. And I really hope, I really honestly in my heart hope that someday we get to meet at a show and I can shake your hand. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.